Board and Kathy Brooks. This is bringing action on the resolution number 07-2013-03. Do I have a second? Doug Christie has seconded. Any discussion? For the vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Consideration and possible action regarding ordinance number 11505, establishing the office of city administrator for the city of China Grove, passed on May 5, 2011. Mr. Burke,
Yes, sir.
can you explain that? What you were talking about, that just amended?
When I had my discussion with the mayor as to the item on the agenda, there was discussion about possibly repealing the ordinance and not having the position of city administrator. My suggestion to the mayor was that you not repeal it, because different administrations as years go by, some do want a city administrator, some do not want a city administrator. I would recommend that you amend this ordinance to state that if the position of city administrator is vacant, then those duties are required to be performed by the mayor. That's consistent with state law. State laws, basically, as a general law city, the mayor is the chief executive officer, but some cities hire a city manager, some cities hire a city administrator to perform those duties. And so it rotates as different councils come. Some want a city administrator. Sometimes you have a mayor that is working full-time, doesn't have the ability to perform the duties of mayor, and so he wants to have a city administrator. So my recommendation was that you do not repeal this ordinance. You simply amend it by adding a different section that would simply state that if the city administrator position is vacant, the duties are to be performed by the mayor that are called for in this ordinance. That was simply my recommendation. That there may be in a year you may want to have a city administrator, then you have to reestablish an ordinance because you no longer have the position of city administrator. So that was simply my suggestion, is that you not repeal it. You simply amend it that if you don't have a city administrator, the duties are performed by the mayor. But if the council then wants to hire a city administrator, you still have an ordinance that authorizes to hire a city administrator.
I would so move, but that was a lot of words there.
Well, your motion would just simply be that you would move to amend ordinance 110505 so that if the city administrator position is vacant, the duties are performed by the mayor. That would be what the motion called.
Well, then I will move that we amend ordinance number 110550, I'm sorry, number 110505. 1105.
No.
Yes.
I'm looking at this number right here.
Must be different. Let's do
Must be
it.
different. Where's the number?
Mayor,
Oh, yeah.
Councilman LeGray is right.
That's right. That was
Yes.
from the order. He's reading from the
He's
order.
reading it off the ordinance, yes.
Am I correct on the
Yes, sir.
number?
Yes, you are. The agenda is.
Okay.
I forgot the motion.
To
To amend, so that the mayor. That's as far as
I would like to amend the ordinance 11-11-05-05. Yes, that's 11-11-05-05, that's
That's not
right.
what you said.
That's not what you said.
Ordinance 11-05-05, an ordinance establishing the city administrator's
Suffice?
That suffices because it doesn't repeal the ordinance and it just says that the mayor performs his duties while that position is vacant.
Okay. And I'll second that.
Motion by Kathy Brooks, second by John McCray. Any other discussion? And all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody against? No. Next item on the agenda is consideration and possible action regarding animal control services for the city. I talked with, Ms. Gillespie. You want to come forward?
I mean, we had the basic conversation on, I've been doing this animal control services rescue, or whatever you want to call it, since the 90s when I established my still on council. We had talked about maybe continuing, because it is a service that the city has enjoyed and has asked me to continue. But also, I personally would like to see it, the service be of a lesser capacity than what I've been doing all these years. I have done a lot extra. I'm on a 311 call roster. I get calls from the sheriff, the police, 311. I mean, to me, this had become a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job. And it was just almost to the point of overwhelming. And I think if we could tone it down, even though I didn't always have to respond to all these other requests, there were city requests, they were still really disruptive to my personal life. It was ongoing. I would like to have a little bit less capacity as far as what we do with the city. We were talking perhaps
On
an
call.
emergency and on call. We said we could maybe work out more of a detail as to, instead of my becoming a city employee, which I was hoping we feel work something out, or I don't have to be a city employee. And I was hoping that maybe we could talk about it with the city attorney to see what I could do to be compensated, especially for some of the expenses that we incur without my having to be a city employee and doing this 24/7. So I would still like to see animal control and rescue services and to some capacity. I mean, I was taking old ladies to the vet who couldn't drive. I was taking care of animals, livestock and dogs, people who had to go on leave in emergency, and all this was done in the name of the city. I never charged for anything. So I did all kinds of extra things, and it just got to be a lot. So we thought, if some way I would communicate with the mayor when something came up, or the mayor with me, or the city with me, to see what we could do to assist the citizens and then still be humane to the animals. Still have the contract with the China Grove Vet Clinic. It's not a contract we have, it's an agreement the city has that they would charge us less because we are the city. I still have that same capability with the Humane Society, with Animal Defense League. All that's been worked out over the years, where we get help from them, medically help for the animals and so forth, at a discount. So that's kind of where I'm at. See if y'all would be interested in that.
I think that's a situation that we definitely need within the city. There are a lot of strays around. Animals do get hit on the road or injured somehow or another. And I would like to see, if you stay on with the city on an on-call basis, along with the things that you have in place already with the veterinary and also the Humane Society and all the other organizations. So if we did come up with something that we could use your services in trying to get an animal placed up, and how we go about doing it.
Right, well, acceptable to you was work something out, maybe with the assistance of the attorney, that we're legally, I have funds when I take an animal to the Trumbo vet and so forth, that it will within legal animals. I'm a certified animal control officer, I've had training, but I don't like to call myself a dog catcher. So that's my proposal. Thank you.
I'm just curious, is it the discussion between the mayor and her for the type of hours and that, is that something that needs to be put exactly on action?
I would recommend that an agreement be drafted and brought back to the council for approval. If she's performing animal control services for the city, she doesn't have to do it as an employee, she can get an independent contractor as a consultant to the city. And in order for her to be compensated, utilizing city funds for the services she's performing for the city, my recommendation is that you have a document prepared. It doesn't have to be a complicated agreement, it can be a simple 2-3 page document identifying the service she's performing, the compensation the city's going to be providing for those services. But I would recommend that some type of agreement be in place if she's performing these services on behalf of the city.
Is that agreeable with you?
Right, I think at the moment I'm still listed as an employee of the city. I have been actually an employee of the city, receiving salary and compensation, just like police force or whatever. But that gets a little complicated because I was not as able to act independently. Sometimes I would get a call that I didn't feel I would necessarily want to respond to. Felt obligated because I worked for the city to do something, but sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Then I would recommend we could convert that employment situation to an independent contractor and give you that freedom at your request.
So, get together with you and the city secretary and we'll get something.
The city attorney.
Yeah, the only thing we would need really, in order to prepare a simple agreement is the services she's wanting to perform and what she's looking for compensation. We'll put that together in an agreement, have the city look at it to see if they're agreeable to that.
Does it need to be voted on?
Excuse me?
Does the agreement need to be voted on?
It will need to be voted on at the next meeting.
Okay. Okay.
If you can get that scope that you'd like to do to the city secretary, they'll get some meetings, we can put together that agreement.
Well, I think I already have a job description on hand or something, and I can get with the staff
Right.
and go over
And
that.
go over that, delete what you don't want to do, what you want to do, and so forth.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is consideration of possible action regarding cleanup, mowing, trimming of trees on trees. My understanding that the mowing has been done. Is that correct?
That's correct.
The one item that needs to be done would be the trimming of the trees and also, I think, the creek out. Cleaning the creek.
Yeah, the creek bed down in there by the bridge, we're looking at that, probably, actually, trying to get them to give us some kind of an idea whether they can,
We're negotiating with the contractors with saws to do some of free gratis work. We've had some big ruts on the sides of the road that triple trees. They're willing to take some of the used dirt and what have you and fill in those holes. and also on Triple Meadow and Triple Bend. They're, gonna patch up some of the holes that are around there. So I don't think there's any action that needs to be done right now.
And the reason we've been talking to them, so everybody will know that they have all the heavy equipment there now. So we've asked them, we just kind of just threw it out there, and they said, yeah, just talk to the boss. The boss said, yeah, I'll talk to my guy. So it's really something that, you know, if we get it done, it's gonna be, it's probably gonna be done at cost of probably near nothing. But the fact is, they're out there with all their equipment, they'd be kind enough to, say yes, and they look at it. But, just talking about the ruts in Triple Meadow, they put those in there, was CPS, and that hurts a lot for our guy that was cleaning up. They agreed to even help out there. They've already said they do that for sure, there's no cost to do that.
I have a question. How is it going with your saws in that subdivision, replacing your pipes? Are they almost finished with that subdivision?
Can we say that till we get to streets?
Oh, okay, sure.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Coming up.
I was
Yes,
just
sir.
In
curious.
regard to filling the hole, you said on Triple Tree, Triple Meadow, Triple Bend, is that just, does it patch all, or is that until we get somebody else in there to
That's
fix
gonna
it?
be, yes, that's gonna be patching until we can get, through the first stage. The first stage are coming through, so discuss that also, but yeah, you're right, Pat.
Next item on the agenda is consideration of possible action regarding mowing of Real Road across from St. Jerome Cemetery and authorizing the mayor and city secretary to investigate the responsibility for the maintenance of Real Road, from 1516 south west to where it turns heading south. What we're trying to do is figure out who owns that road. I don't know, John or Dennis know anything about it?
Well, I believe on 1516, the tech stop has a 120-foot right of way.
Right.
Right across from the cemetery.
And normally I would try to get tech stop to go ahead and, well, not, you're talking about Real, I'm on
Real next to the
1516.
cemetery. Just Real.
It's that short part of Real Road that runs,
It goes down.
That would just be considered a city's right of way. The property only butts up to the
So
property
is that
owner.
our roadway or the county road? The Real road? Before it goes down and turns to Larry's Street.
The city has never, to my knowledge, did any mowing on that particular area
Oh,
of the city. So I can't answer your question whether it's a county road. I don't remember the cities ever doing any maintenance on that road. I just go back 20 years. John's goes back more, so.
I don't know where they,
I've never,
The annexation has taken place within the last 20 years. See, that's the only thing, so we'd have to find the annexation chart to see exactly what they did.
basically, this would be just getting with the county to see who does own that part of Real Road. If it's a county or does the city of China Grove own it? And that's what we'd be looking at, just trying to go.
just contact Public Works Department.
Right, we'll be contacting Public Works and, looking over the records and see what we have. Next item is the reports of financial from City Secretary. Kenny?
Mayor, on that last, Mayor, on that last item, just on the, do we have to make any kind of road motion or anything on that back, stuff down on 1516 and Real?
You're authorizing the mayor and city secretary to investigate.
Make a roll call.
The council has to.
Motion?
I make
Okay.
authorizing the mayor and the city secretary to investigate that, who's responsible for that area down there in 1516 and Real, just as you're trimming into the entrance of the cemetery.
Councilman Brooks and second by John Ray. John McCray. All those in favor? Any opposed? Next item on the agenda is the financial report.
yesterday and everything's out and looking good.
She says we, but she did it by herself.
We are,
Quick synopsis of this would be that Nixon State Bank, we have approximately $227,553.21. Petty cash, $200. Randolph Brooks Federal Credit Union, $158,962.29. Security Service Federal Credit Union, $160,001.81. Wells Fargo Bank, $156,266.60. So the total of all the funds is $702,983.91. Their motion. They have a report from municipal court. Jennifer?
She had to leave, Mayor, but
Okay.
as I reported earlier, she sent out letters to all the ones that were on the docket. We have 56 on the docket for next Tuesday, July 16th. And she went to Balcones Heights yesterday and observed their court, and because their prosecutor is our prosecutor. And we're pretty much all set. And she's working with City of Congress, who've been helping her also in getting everything set up. And people have been responding to those letters and coming in and paying, and it's been positive.
Okay.
Municipal court is when? Tuesday, on the 16th. What time? 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, yes, sir.
Okay, the police report, no report. Yes.
For the month of June, we had 17 calls. We had assist under the calls, we had 9. We had an assist a public call, 1. Motor vehicle accident, 1. Abandoned vehicle, 1. 2 business alarms, 1 attempted forgery, and a 911 hang-up call, 1, and 1 burglary.
The burglary, what was that?
That was at Alamo Fireworks in Stan, in Kansas, and so fireworks.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know the fireworks stands?
Why won't they get called there?
Because they broke into the building.
It's not constitutional.
They gave us a call.
Chief, in regard to the complaint that was not filed, you don't have a record of it, there were no other complaints this year?
Not that I received, I just received one.
Do you know by chance how many complaints were filed last year? Just
I
off
think
the top
about
of your-
3.
Three?
Yes.
Any other questions? Thanks. The Shangrove Fire Department. Our chief, Max, thank you.
Good evening. All right, Shangrove Fire and Rescue monthly report for the month of June. Total calls for the month, 36. Of that, structure fire, 6. Grass fire, brush fire, 3. Unauthorized burns, 2. Activated fire alarm, 3. Motor vehicle collision, 3. And assist the public, 3. First responder calls, these are the ones medical in nature, 15. Acadian transported 6 patients from the city of China Grove. Breaking down into areas, calls in the city of China Grove, 11. Calls in the county unincorporated area, 11. Mutual aid calls, 14. And brief summary of calls in the city of China Grove. On the 3rd, 6900 block Highway 87 East, case number 148. Is for a fire on a transformer. On the 5th, 6900 block Highway 87 East, case number 151. Medical call for chest pains. On the 11th, 7300 block Triple Elm North, case 155, medical call for a stroke. On the 12th, 1700 block, FM 1516 South, case number 157, medical call, heart attack. On the 13th, Highway 87 East and FM 1516 South, case number 160, motor vehicle collision. On the 15th, 1600 block, Highway 87 East, case number 161, medical call for toxic ingestion. On the 15th, 7200 block, tree bend, case number 162, unauthorized burn. On the 16th, 7000 block, Tierra Bonita, case number 163, assist the public. On the 21st, 7300 block, Highway 87 East, case number 164, medical call for traumatic injury. And 27th, 3200 block, Triple Meadow, case number 172, medical call for sick person. And on the 29th, 7600 block, Triple Bend, case number 178, medical call for diabetic complications.
Fire ban still lifted?
Burn ban's been lifted. I do remind the citizens of China Grove, there is an ordinance in place about open burning. You do have to obtain a burn permit / permission to burn from City Hall or from myself. And I must tell everyone, we've had some problems here lately, that when you call to get permission to burn, we will give you a time that you can burn up till. When we give you that time, that fire has to be out at that time. It cannot left unattended, it cannot let be burning or anything like that. It has to be completely out by whatever time that we deem necessary. And that is all dealing with weather conditions for that day.
I know it's a little bit ahead, but it's on everybody's mind right now. How do you like Fort Show?
Pretty uneventful in the city of China Grove. We've been extremely busy assisting other agencies. We've had several structure fires on the 4th. Matter of fact, we had 2 structure fires assisting other agencies. Several grass and brush fires the day before, and the 4th and the 5th. So I said we've been extremely busy, but not in the city. The city was pretty quiet.
Do you anticipate a burn ban coming in?
I don't foresee anything. From what I understand, it's, we've been getting enough rain to keep us above the level. So I don't foresee anything of a burn ban coming in right now.
I've noticed that little fires get out on the side of the highway.
Yeah,
Stuff
there have been
like
little
this.
spot fires, but it's not completely brown yet or dead. So like I said, we've done a few here on the median, people throwing out cigarettes or fireworks or whatever, but it didn't turn anything major because, like I said, we still have some of the grass and brush and stuff that are still kind of green.
Okay. Thank you. On the animal rescue, Linda's been out of town for most of the month with her mother. So I don't know if we need animal rescues or anything like that on that. We go to the old business. Update on status of fuel trucks at 6825 Highway 87 East.
You back there at all? Chief Davis, not really? Took pictures?
Yeah, I took pictures, quite a bit of pictures, and it's still the same amount of vehicles. So I believe it would be up to you guys to either say yes, you want
Why
to
don't we
do
just
there.
invite him to the next meeting so we can just talk to him about it and find out, show him the pictures and give him, and let's just get this thing moving. I mean, this is our, too long now, I think we need to at least have him here and answer our question. And ask him about the trucks, the agreement we had with him.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Secretary to get a copy of that agreement or the business permit that we gave with him.
I specifically remember asking him how many he had. He said 5, and no more than 2.
It should be something that could be.
Like no big truck. Bob, what is the name of this?
Yeah, trailers.
Oh, he's got trailers, yes, yes he does.
Tell us, Dave.
Tell Texas.
Cal State.
We,
Cal State.
Cal State, Cal State.
I would address, that we were coming through, we ran into a gentleman in front, and like I said, I don't know what kind of leash we have. He stood up here, we asked him, that's what we don't wanna have, people poor, fantastic, everybody wants to move here, but we found out that people just parking the big driver trucks, the citizens says they don't want that. So we stopped. This gentleman came to us, Bell State is right there. Oh, right next, what is that thing? Wells Fargo? It's like Wells Fargo. And he stood here and said, he asked me, how many trucks will you have? And we said, oh, maybe 5. We said, oh, they're going to come in, they're not going to stay there long. Basically, he said they'd be small trucks, bobtails at the most. He's got trailers, he's got trailers parked with gasoline tanks. I mean, it's just, is there anything we can do, since we didn't have a specific permit in place? Is there anything we can do to, other than invite him here and ask him to be a good neighbor, or?
Is he zoned for this?
I would guess he's all commercial, yes.
The property is on commercial, but I think in the minutes, it read that there was a certain amount of bobtail type trucks and a certain amount of 18-wheeler type trucks.
The permit he granted was specifically to allow him to park trucks there?
Yes, and it gave a specific number of types.
There's nothing that prohibits the city from pulling the permit, if that's what you wish to do. My suggestion is that a letter of notice be notified him that his permit's going to be pulled, and he'll have an opportunity to appear at this council meeting as to why his permit should not be pulled, since he's in violation of the number of trucks he committed to have to this council. And then if you're not satisfied with his answers at the meeting, then my recommendation would be to pull the permit.
Works for me.
But you do have to give him notice, and give him an opportunity to respond.
Next item would be the update on street repairs and maintenance.
Okay, let me just tell you, the project there in the tree area is coming, its first phase is coming to an end. There's three phases. First stage is coming to an end, and last month we were given a report from the geotech engineer, which is a good report that was prepared for us. It was a little bit overkill on the number of holes that they dug or shot, and I think there was 19 of them, and they probably only needed like 4, maybe 9 max, but neither here nor there. It's a good report. There's a number of questions and a number of things that we need to do before we move forward for getting a civil engineer. I have emailed our attorney to ask him what our next steps are for that engineer, but it's going to take time to qualify some questions, so we'll be ready for that engineer. So we need to develop the questions. We need to also sit down and talk with the geotech that did this report. The one who has a better handle on it or can help me a lot and has been is Councilman Trainer. And between the two of us, we've been able to at least slowly put this thing together. We're not, we got to slow down a little bit so we can make sure we get 2 things done. First, I just told you. One, we got to sit down with the geotech and develop from them, develop the kind of questions we're going to need for the civil engineer. And so we're going to have to probably, there are some neighbors who are civil engineers in our neighborhood. I'm going to sit down with them also. I've had one or two of them look it over and give me their ideas and input, and they've given us a lot. So it's a lot to chew on. It was a short month for myself being on vacation and stuff, so got back on it again, and we just recently met early this week for all that information. So we're slowly moving forward with that. So there we are with that.
Okay, so back to the water, the salt, or is this the part where I can ask you how the salt water bill is going?
Say it again.
Is this the part where I can ask you how the saws how is all that going?
Yes, what do you want to know?
Is it finished? Are they still working
I
on
said
it?
it's coming to an end, the first phase. It's a 3-phase project. Okay, the first phase is coming to an end.
And that is where they put in the new pipes?
That is where they put in the new phase, they put in the new mains, okay? They put, they're putting in the cross sections. They put the cross sections in now in the first stage, so that when we do develop the plan for the street, then that will be in for the future. They won't have to come back later and dig. That was the whole plan last year when we first contacted them. When we first talked about moving forward, rather than start the street right away, we said, wait a minute.
Right.
We had problems
Right.
because of Saul's problem. That's what brought this.
So,
project
so Saul's is just about pretty much through with their phase.
on their first phase.
And how many phases again?
3.
Three. And then what happens after that?
Well, they're finished with the project.
Okay, so what's phase 2 then? That's, what is it,
What's
phase
phase
2?
two?
She asked what phase 2
Well,
that.
phase 2 is the next section of the street. The whole phase, if you'll go look at that, I don't have it with me, but if you go look at the billboard that's out there that they have, they show the phases as they're going in. And the third phase is gonna reach all the way back, I believe, to Triple.
All the way down to Triple Oaks.
Was it?
All the way down Triple
Triple
Trees to
Oaks.
Triple Oaks.
The Triple Oak, that's the last street right down where dead ends or T's
Okay.
in.
Then what, okay, so then when do the roads come in?
Well, the roads will come in as soon as they're done with this next phase, and we can sit down and talk to the geotech and talk, and then develop a phase,
Well, I'm just a bit confused about roads here, that's why I'm just asking.
okay?
Because I didn't know we ever, agreed on whose streets we were going to do first. Now, am I jumping up
Yes.
above?
Well, we had.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm just wanting to know.
I'm gonna
when
answer your
Saul's-
question.
I'm sorry?
I'm gonna answer your question. You wanna know why we're going first on this end?
Yes.
Okay. The reason is because we came to the council early on, okay? And we started to talk to the council about doing this. In fact, that was the one thing, before I was in the city council, when I came to this council and was told that there was nothing to be done. Kept coming back, kept trying to work things out. I finally, when I got on and elected here, and then I, tried to move things forward, then there was money available. CPS had some money coming in, there was other monies that we looked at and said there was some money there. We also sat down and talked, and the council then agreed that we had some money to be spent on the project. Why there? Because we were already talking about doing it in that area, because they are probably the worst streets if you go down.
No.
Well,
I'll let you
wait a
finish.
minute.
Okay, I disagree, but go ahead, finish.
Okay, yeah, you probably will disagree with me.
Okay.
And that's okay, but now we're to the point where we're heavily invested in it, okay? We not only have a project that we had Saul's into it, of course, on it, but we now have a $6,000 or $7,000 geotech report that states what needs to be done to the streets, should be done to the streets, or not be done to the streets. It just depends on what we decide as a council, what we want done with those streets. So we're moving forward. When an engineer comes by, and by the little information I've been given, because I haven't had a lot of time to sit down with the attorney. But one of the things that I did not know but this is good stuff, and that is that when our attorney has told me that in other cities, they hired an engineer for 3 to 5 years. The reason for that is that because we're going to move forward, we're not just going to do triple trees. We're going to be, the next section, we're hoping that within this is a long time. We're a small community. We don't have a lot of money, but we do have money coming in all the time. So we're looking at anywhere between a 6, 8, maybe 10-year project. I'm hoping less. We don't know. It's always up, and it's up to how we do it and what streets are there. But going back to the 5-year contract that we'll have, 3 to 5 year contract we'll have with the engineer, that engineer will not only, he'll just be on contract as an as-needed basis. If we have questions for him, say for homes or properties that are in floodplain, we could ask him for his opinion. So we, the city, would not be held liable for something we approved. We felt need for his assistance. Also, for people have been asking, well, how do we find out what streets are next and which streets are worst?
Right.
Well, I'm not in that field. He is, they are, and that would be a
But
plan.
I thought, Mr. McRae, we had some type of testing done and evaluated or something where some of these streets came in at fair to good condition.
The only report that was
We
done
had
was
some
done.
type of report, because I remember them talking about it at one of the meetings.
Yeah, that's
We,
good.
there was a discussion about the roads again.
Yes. It was all
So-
done, it was all done in the Triple Tree Road.
No, I think it was more,
No, it
Where
was
was
just
it?
triple streets. But are we ever gonna have the rest of the streets?
I just
Is
said that
engineer
in
gonna
the
do that?
future, yes, we are. Absolutely. That's
So
always
before
been our
we-
plan, that's always been our plan, we may have a master plan. We've never had
So
a master
before we
plan in
start
place,
all of
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We are moving forward, that's exactly what we want to do. But we're not about to make a decision on streets, even being the first ones out. We don't want to make a decision on streets that are going to be just, halfway done. We want to make sure these are streets the streets that we have now are 30, 40 years old. Okay, we want to have that same type of product. So in 30 years from now, we're still driving on the same streets, and they're good streets. But we don't just want those streets just for us, we want it for all of China Grove. How do we get there? We have to put a plan in place. The engineer, when we bring him on, is going to help us move in that direction. Yes, ma'am?
So you said your project could take possibly 10 years?
You could.
Okay, so no other road can get done for 10 years?
There's no money. I mean, there's not
Well,
that much.
well, see, that's what.
Well, if you want to raise taxes, you want to get everybody to raise their taxes, we can do that, but that's not going to happen.
Why did you invest in your project
Okay.
this long before bringing it to the council?
You want what?
Why did you invest so much in your project before bringing it to the council?
Before breaking it to the council?
Breaking it.
Bringing it.
We had already brought it to the council, we've been talking about it for years.
But nothing was ever decided, your guys were gonna be first. No, sir.
Yeah, we
No,
decided,
sir.
we talked about it, and we
I
moved
have
forward
to
with it.
disagree. I've been,
So we're heavily invested, we're already moving forward, we did
now,
this
when
in
you
the
had that,
plan.
y'all must have had that plan in your head a
If you
long
want me to
time
answer your
ago.
question, I
Many
will.
people came forward and
Yes, it
spoke
all-
about Triple Meadows and Triple Bend and the Triple subdivision. We all came forward and spoke about it. I was one of them.
Yeah, well, I've been here too, more than meetings, well, anyway. All right. All right, I have used my opinion, and I am concerned about when my area will be taken care of. And that's what I'm asking.
Can I ask for clarification of something? You had mentioned 10 years, but then someone else asked that it wouldn't, their roads wouldn't be done until after the 10 years, but I kind of understood that the whole project would be done in 10 years?
I'm saying,
Their road.
it's a project that take anywhere between 6, 8, maybe 10 years.
Which project?
The
Just
the
one
whole
area?
project, the project,
The whole project?
well,
city?
what's a whole project? All of the city of China Grove? I don't think we can do all the city
Their
of China
project.
Grove. We're not gonna do it in 10 years. There's no way, but I'm talking, the streets that I know are the worst here in China Grove are, the triple tree area, okay? Then Ed Bonita is in bad shape. That one going in the back, it doesn't always weigh, either way. Ed Bonita needs to be looked at. The other one is Tree Bend? Tree Bend? Okay, Tree Bend is another one. It's, the grass is encroaching from the side, and has been for years. I mean, I've only lived here since 2000, and I can tell that street has been encroached by that for many moons.
Well, then why are we doing, if these
Because
are so
that's
bad?
before.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. We've been talking about this for 2 years.
Well, I've been right behind you.
I think there hasn't been really a decision made as to which streets are to be done, when we're getting an engineer to look at all of them and go from that point. Dennis?
My question is not in regards to the road issues. My question is in regards to the proceeds that are now coming in from the municipal court funds. Had the city of China Grove taken a very large decrease, say 50 to 75% loss now? Can you answer that question? If you have it in the financial report on the court, maybe I should be asking.
The item we're talking about is update streets repair maintenance. it's not with regard to.
Well, that was where some of the proceeds would actually come from within the budget. That brings in more money than the ad valorem taxes of the city or the franchise fees.
We're getting the court back right now.
But I understand that, but I was just curious as to the proceeds. I didn't hear the financial report, and that kind of directly relates to the income coming into the city.
And there's some other things we need to consider too. And, you know,
Any question, any answer to that, my question, or?
What were the proceeds last month?
proceeds are probably in the bank account available for use for anything.
What's in the court report? You should have it, I didn't get a copy of the court report. There is no court report?
There had no court.
Well, had a court.
There was no
We haven't had
court.
court.
So there was no proceeds then? I answered my own question. Thank you. Okay.
The other thing I'm looking at too is that, I saw with the city of Von Army increase their sales tax 4% and dedicate that money to the roads.
Well,
Be looking at that.
I think my taxes up a bit if it meant getting some decent roads in this area.
So,
Why can't we add a road tax and have, if we need the money for roads, spend a little more money, vote for a road tax?
That's what I said.
We don't want no more taxes.
We don't want any more
There
taxes.
is money that's available.
Well, they're saying there is no money available.
There's not
They
enough,
there
there's
not.
not enough.
Don't mix the words, there's not money available to do everything at one time. Okay, thank you.
it's in the budget, I think, for how much? 200,000? Yeah. And that's all.
Mr. Ricks, I'm not finished with my discussion. I want to know why we are going forward with, you told me why. And I understand, you came to your meetings and you told him you had a problem. We came, and I said, they told me it was in the process, we're talking about streets, we're going to get this taken care of. I said, well, are we going to do, somebody said, well, they're going to do theirs first. They go, oh, no, we're going to get a list and we're going to go through these roads with an engineer and I'll provide you what streets need to be done first and we're going to address those. That never happened, and now all of a sudden, now we're here in your subdivision taking over, getting those roads done, but there are worse roads beside even Terra Bonita. I've been down there where you live. In that back area, you don't have no decent roads. So why are we addressing a big subdivision when there's older roads out there that need repair? Am I not right?
In this situation, I think that all of the roads in China Grove need some kind of repair or complete overhaul.
Well, why would a report come back telling us that these roads were in fair and good condition? And believe it or not, Triple Trees, as well as your subdivision, said the same thing.
The prior administration got this report, had contacted these people for a report for that area. All of the streets have been looked at by another engineer.
Okay, where is that report?
I don't know where that report is. I don't know where the report of, if there is a report of what the listing of the streets are. or
Well, if
anything.
there was another report done by another engineer since then where is it? It has to be somewhere.
There hasn't been.
It's-
There hasn't
Okay,
been.
well,
Councilman
just got to tell me there
Councilman
was.
McRae just finished stating that as soon as we get an engineer on board, that's gonna be done.
Is he going to do all the
And that's
roads,
gonna
or
be done.
just that one
All the
subdivision?
roads will be.
Mike, we went through this before when I've been
And
here
what
about
that
it.
guy did for me was incomplete.
And there was never no list, and all of you up here, most of you up here know that this discussion was ongoing for a long time, that we would be prioritized by the streets that needed to be fixed first.
It'll be here for public record as soon as we have it.
Well, it's too late now, y'all have y'all's little
No,
road going in.
Triple Bend is gonna get done. It's gotta be done. There's nothing left of that road.
Well, not probably after Sauce came in now, no. Y'all fixed it up fine. There's nothing more I can do, it's in your hands.
For 3 years, we've been trying to get a pilot program to see how much it costs to do a road, per square yard, per square foot, and that's what we kind of.
Okay, I have another suggestion then. what's wrong with having Terra Bonita at least, what do you call it when they put the chip seal or something like that on that road until it comes time for our roads? They're kept-
Why waste that money?
Because my roads are just as bad as yours.
Well, they're not sensitive.
Okay.
That's why.
That's not the answer, though. The base failures need to be fixed. Wherever the dips are at, they need to be cut out, and they need to be floated out, they need to be fixed the right way.
I
And that needs to be
understand, but
done.
after 10 years, we're not gonna even have a road.
Is there gonna be a master plan before any construction begins?
Apparently not.
There has to be.
Y'all-
Okay, we have not seen one yet.
We don't have a master plan as to the number of roads or when they're gonna be fixed.
You gotta get an engineer.
We have to get an engineer. I could come over there and say, Terra Bonita is bad. I could say, treatment is bad. I
Almost
could say,
bad.
triple's bad. Almost got a problem with drainage of
But
water.
I said, why can't we temporarily, if it's gonna be over a 10-year period of time before these streets will be attempted, why can't we at least have something, to safely to drive our vehicles in that subdivision, at least the front part? I don't know if y'all, I mean, you've been in my subdivision, you know.
I have driven every road in this.
And what I'm saying, okay, we're gonna wait 10 years to get ours fixed, can't there be some type of, a temporary fix with chip seal or something to make it through the next 10 years? Could that happen?
That would be, could be considered, but it'd have to be done, on the agenda.